Welcome back to the News at 10. You know, it might be hard to believe, but around 100 years ago, many Americans got their entertainment from watching two steam engines crash together head-on.
I remember it well. Even though the crashes were planned, crowds could not get enough of them. Here's KVUE's Bob Buckaloo with tonight's backstory.
These images are blurry. After all, the scenes were filmed in 1913, but it's a perfect example of a craze that swept America around the beginning of the 20th century, and that is inviting spectators to watch two steam locomotives running at high speeds to crash together head-on. That passed for entertainment back in the day. In fact, even when the head-on crashes were accidental, you could expect sometimes thousands of people to stand around and stare at the wreckage. And it was that kind of curiosity that brought thousands of people to Central Texas on a warm September afternoon in 1896. They were there to witness the collision between two fast-moving steam locomotives, an event that would prove so infamous that the great American composer Scott Joplin would write a song about it. He called it the Great Crush Collision. The word crush came from the name W.G. Crush. He was a railroad executive who dreamed up the idea of promoting the new Missouri, Kansas, and Texas Railroad known as the Katy by inviting people to come watch the locomotives crash together outside of Waco. The steam locomotives were backed up, aimed at each other, the throttles were opened all the way, and the engineers jumped off. It was all over in a few seconds, but as people neared the wreckage, the worst happened.
Both of the steam boilers exploded, and at least 2 people died from the explosion, pieces of metal, shrapnel that flew into the crowd, and at least 6 others were seriously injured.
Crush was fired, but news of the event led other promoters to begin staging similar crashes across the country, and that went on into the 1930s, though none were as disastrous as the one in Texas. Because of the publicity from the crash at Crush, the Katy Railroad became a household name, and they began making money. And despite the deaths and injuries, W.G. Crush got his job back and was even given a promotion. Bob Buckaloo, KVUE News.